Welcome to the Ultimate Comparison Guide, where I'm going to be comparing the Herman Miller Eames lounge chair here with two other mid-century classic lounge chairs. This is the pleather version from Amazon, and this is a higher quality leather version from Sohnne.com. Let's get honest. If you want to jump straight to the comparison, you can go to this timestamp here, but I'm going to give a little bit of background information. The iconic Eames lounge chair was designed by Charles and Ray Eames, and it was immortalized in part thanks to moments like this, where you see Steve Jobs and Bill Gates sitting on this chair and collaborating together. As a matter of fact, if you pay attention, you'll see this chair everywhere in pop culture. This chair has come to signify things like wealth and success. This is why you see all the sharks on Shark Tank sitting on these chairs. What's ironic and a little sad is that the Eameses were all about creating high quality furniture that would be affordable to the average consumer. Well, I don't know where it all went wrong, but this chair is far from affordable. If you were to buy just the chair alone without the ottoman, that would run you $6,000 US. Now to put that into perspective, which I really don't need to because $6,000 is a lot of money, but if I were to put that into perspective, and don't ask me how I know this, if you were to sell your kidney on the black market, you would make about $5,000. So if you were literally to sell a kidney, you still would not have enough money for this chair. Now, the design patent on the Eames lounge chair is expired, which means, according to Google, that others can now copy and utilize the design without asking for permission or paying a fee to the patent holder. These two chairs over here do not try to pretend or associate themselves with the Eames lounge chair whatsoever. They don't use the terms like Eames Replica that everybody uses. Amazon one calls itself the mid-century lounge chair, and this Sohnne chair calls itself the classic lounge chair. There are no markings or labelings trying to confuse consumers. So for example, on the Eames lounge chair, underneath there's a badge that says Eames on it, so you know it's an authentic, real Eames. Whereas these two chairs, they have no markings, no labeling whatsoever. Compare this approach with something like fake AirPods, where a lot of sellers of fake AirPods will use Apple's trademark logo and their packaging to try to deceive consumers into thinking, hey, this is an actual Apple product, when it's anything but. When it comes to sizing, all three chairs come in both a regular or standard version and then a tall version. And I'm going to strongly recommend that whichever chair you pick up, you get the tall variant. I'll explain why in a little bit, and the only exception to this would be if you're like 5'2" or under. In terms of the ottomans, the chair from Amazon and the Sohnne chair have the exact dimension ottoman, and the size of all three ottomans do not change whether you get the regular chair or the tall variant. The Eames lounge chair's ottoman is a little bit wider, I believe like 1 or 2 inches wider, and it's slightly taller because there's a little bit more padding in the Eames lounge chair compared to these other two. The dimensions of the regular size chair across all three brands are near identical, and the same applies for the tall variant as well, with the exception of 2 dimensions. The first is that the seat width here, from the edge of this arm to the edge of this arm in the tall Eames lounge chair here, is 2 inches wider than on the tall Sohnne leather chair here. The other discrepancy comes because I don't really trust the measurements that these guys list on their website, so I did my own measurements, and I'm glad I did, because this chair here, the classic lounge chair or the mid-century lounge chair from Amazon, it states that this is the regular size. It states that this is 31 inches. The ground from to the back here is 31.5 inches. When I measured it, it's more like 29 to 29.5 inches. The same applies for the tall Sohnne lounge chair over here. This thing states on the website that the ground to the back of this is supposed to be 33 inches, but in my measurement, it's more like 31 to 31.5 inches. Now, I believe that if you were to get the tall version on this, it says on their website that the tall variant should also be 33 inches, but I'm gonna say take that with a grain of salt. I believe it's gonna be the same height at 31.5 inches to the Sohnne leather lounge chair over here. The Eames lounge chair, on the other hand, is the most accurate because on their website it states that from the ground to the back is 33 inches, and sure enough, it is 33 inches. The back height measurement is critical, and I'm limping around here because I messed up my knee. It's critical because in the regular size here, if I scooch all the way back, let me actually turn around like this so you guys can see. But if you look at my head, okay, that's, if you look at my head, you can see that I have nowhere to rest it. Like in its natural resting position, I am looking way past straight up. I'm looking almost to the back of the room at this point. And in order to look forward or even lounge in the chair, I have to scooch down. And at this point, my lower back is no longer making contact with the chair. Now, to be clear, this is not uncomfortable because my shoulders, my neck, my upper back, my butt is all making solid contact with the chair. So this is still very comfortable. But imagine you want to look forward, to look at a screen, to watch a movie, to do whatever you need to do. Well, in order to do that, I'd have to scooch even further down. And at this point, my chin is basically inside of my neck. And again, to be very clear, this is not uncomfortable. I've been able to take like amazing naps like this in the chair. But then when I got the Sohnne leather lounge chair in the tall variant, when I sit scooched back, now my head has somewhere to rest and it's at like a 60, 70 degree angle. And if I wanna look forward, I only need to slouch down just a tiny bit in order to get that forward angle position. This is why, again, I strongly recommend everybody get the tall variant because the less you have to slide, the better the experience will be. And napping like this is so much more comfortable than trying to slouch all the way down inside of the regular. Now, the Eames lounge chair being the tallest of the bunch, you're going to get just a little bit more head support and scooched all the way back inside the chair, you can see that now my head is more at like a 45 degree angle. And in order to look forward, I just have to scooch down just a tiny bit. And here's also a benefit of the Eames lounge chair. The cushion in the Eames lounge is thicker, is more plush. I'll talk about a little bit later in the material section, but because it's thicker, when I slouch down like this, more of my back is making contact. My lower back is still off the chair, but more of my mid back is making contact with the chair thanks to the thicker cushions on this chair. Again, just to reiterate, it's extremely comfortable on these chairs. It's a little bit more comfortable on the Eames lounge chair though. The weight capacity of the Herman Miller Eames lounge chair on their website states 250 pounds for both the tall and the regular variants, whereas these two chairs state a maximum weight of 330 pounds. I'm trying to hit 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so please get subscribed, and also links to everything will be down below. And if you decide to pick up a Sohnne chair, you can get $35 off by using my link. Some of you have asked, is it possible to work at a computer using one of these chairs? And the answer is probably not. The reason why is because the height of the ground to the bottom of the wood of this chair is about 11 inches. And so if you factor the rest of this junk up top, it's probably gonna be like 16, 17 inches, whereas the average desk height is 19 inches tall. So if you're trying to work at a desk, you can imagine that like the desk would have to be all the way in here because you're leaning back. So in order to work at a desk with like a proper position, you'd have to kind of like lean up, or your monitors would have to be like up on the wall like this. Also, if you need to take your head off of this, because again, you're leaning back, you're gonna be putting a lot of strain on the back here. The mid-century lounge chair sold on Amazon starts at $700 for the regular version and about $900 for the tall version. This includes the ottoman as well. It comes in various different wood finishes and comes in various colors. This one here is the white pleather, which more than white, it's more like an off-white. It's a little bit of like a cream color. And this here is the walnut veneer. Sohnne's regular classic lounge chair starts at $900, and then the tall version is $1,050. Now shipping is free in the US and certain parts of Europe, but in other regions such as Canada and other areas, it's gonna be an additional shipping fee. There are a few different leather color choices and wood veneers that you can choose from. This chair that I have here is the tall variant with the palisander wood veneer and the black leather. The Herman Miller Eames lounge chair has a ton of different variations. You can pick all kinds of materials from fabric to like 5 different kinds of leather, and you can get the wood veneer in multiple different finishes. You can also purchase this without the ottoman, as I mentioned before. And if you were to just get the chair alone, it would start at about $6,000. And then if you were to get the ottoman, it would be about $8,000. And if you wanted to get the tall variant of this, you have to add another $500 to your price tag. Also, shipping is not free. I had to pay $400 for shipping for this product, and my grand total for this chair comes out to $9,400. Now, to be clear, guys, I cannot afford this chair. I bought it so I could compare it with these other two. If you guys are in the Philadelphia location and you guys are looking to get like a $600, $700 discount on a brand new Eames lounge chair, let me know in the comments down below. You guys may think I'm joking, but I'm not. Seriously, let me know if you want to purchase it down in the comments below. So for that massive price difference, what exactly are you getting? Well, let's start with the seating experience. The cushion on the Eames lounge chair is more plush and thicker than it is on these other two. So as soon as you sit on it, you will feel the back cushion a little bit quicker on your back. Because the Eames lounge chair and the Sohnne chair use real leather, they are noticeably more breathable than on the Amazon pleather chair here. Also, the Eames lounge chair has a little bit more flex to the back, so if you bounce on it, you'll actually get a good amount of wiggle if you want on the back, whereas these two chairs have very little flex on them. The Eames lounge chair's arms also look a little different. They're narrower versus these other two chairs which have very wide arms. And then the padding inside the Eames lounge chair is like a dense memory foam, whereas these two are using kind of like a cheap foam that just like springs right back. The best way I can summarize my seating experience in all three chairs is that when I first got the pleather chair from Amazon, I sat in it and I was like, damn, this is really nice. But then I got the Sohnne leather chair and I was like, okay, this is seriously nice, primarily because of the higher headrest. My head sat in a more comfortable position. I could scooch down a little bit and see totally forward, and it was great. Then I got the Eames lounge chair and I was like, oh, this is a little nicer. Like the jump between this chair and the Eames lounge chair is not that significant. Yes, it's got more plush. Yes, it's got a little bit more cushion, but overall the seating experience isn't all that different. But they are different, most notably in the materials. As I mentioned before, the cushion on the Eames lounge chair is thicker and is much more plush, is much more softer, softer than these other two. It's not saying that these chairs aren't soft, but they don't have the kind of plush and give and the bounce back that the Eames lounge chair has. All three chairs are using plywood with a wood veneer, and the Sohnne classic lounge chair and the Amazon pleather chair, they looked fantastic. It looks great. I had no complaints whatsoever. That was until I saw the Eames lounge chair. You can see that the Eames lounge chair's wood grain texture has just so much more life to it. It's a little bit more saturated, and it's also using a slightly more sheen finish, so it's got a little bit more reflection and gloss to it. Also, the pleather chair is using, well, pleather, fake leather. And what that means is that the durability of this material is not going to last as long, and to the touch, this feels by far the most plasticky out of the three. Sohnne's classic lounge chair is using a full grain leather, and it is soft and it's supple. And what's really interesting is that I had a viewer who watched one of my videos and purchased the Sohnne chair, and they contacted me saying, hey, I did some research. This guy went hard in the paint, and I'm super thankful for you researching this chair. They took it apart and they identified a few things. One is that any part after the tuft in any of the cushions underneath that wrap underneath the chair, those parts are all fake leather. However, the main portions are all indeed real leather. This person is a leather fanatic, and the way they figured this out was, again, they took it apart and they saw the fringes, noticed that it didn't look like real leather, was a little bit concerned, and so decided to light the main cushion on fire, and sure enough, it did not burn. And that's a good sign, because real leather does not burn, whereas fake leather will burn instantly because of all the chemicals that are being used on it. So yes, we did confirm, or at least he confirmed, that Sohnne is using real leather for their chairs. So I'm not a leather connoisseur by any means, but even I can tell that just by looking at it, the Herman Miller leather has a little bit more sheen to it. You can see it in the lighting and the way that it's lit. It's a little bit softer, it's a little bit more supple, a little bit more stretchy than the Sohnne leather chair as well. The materials might be different, but the build quality really isn't all that different. So the Eames lounge chair connects to the frame by using a hard back that has a hole, and on the main set has a button, and it kind of clicks into that button. So you can take those off, and then you can unzip it to get the cushion in and out. These two chairs, on the other hand, are connected via Velcro. So this entire thing can be ripped off. I'm just gonna do a little sample here. You can hear that. So you can just rip this off with the Velcro. It's using a hard back, and then with that pleather, remember I mentioned before, that pleather lining on the back, it's gonna staple into that hard piece. This is gonna apply for both the Sohnne leather lounge chair and the pleather lounge chair here. Now, all three chairs, because they are heavy, they're all about the same weight, they are also leaning back. It means that if you were to put a little bit of weight on the back, you can see that this chair will just flop over immediately. And I thought it might be different on the Eames lounge chair, but it's not. It's exactly the same. So do not put weight on the back of this chair ever. Two things to note, on the Eames lounge chair, there is no gap between the bottom cushion and the lower back cushion, and the same applies to the pleather chair here. There's no gap between the lower and the seat cushion. However, on the Sohnne classic lounge chair, there is a gap that runs the entire distance between the chair and the lower back pad. The second thing is that on the pleather chair from Amazon, when I went to screw in one of the feet, it did not fit all the way, and it would not go in all the way, so the chair sat permanently unlevel. Thankfully, my workaround was that because I used a rug, I put all the feet on the rug except for the longer one. And by putting it off the rug, it kind of balances itself out. As you can see, it's not really wobbly right now. Now, with the Eames lounge chair, you're not really gonna have to worry about that because customer service is excellent. With Sohnne, their customer service, as far as I know, has been excellent as well, but I'm not sure if you have an issue like that. I don't know if that means they're gonna send out a part or if you have to return the whole thing in order to get another one. In terms of assembly, the chair from Amazon is the worst. It comes in a box, it's just thrown everywhere, and there's no instructions whatsoever. The Sohnne leather lounge chair, on the other hand, comes a little bit better packaged, and it comes with a giant instruction guide, so props to them for that. And then the Eames lounge chair is gonna take the cake. This thing comes in a giant box on a freight truck, and it comes fully assembled. The downside is that you have to pay a $400 delivery fee to do so. I personally would rather not pay that fee and assemble the thing myself, but let me know if you guys agree or disagree in the comments down below. The benefit of buying either the Sohnne or the Herman Miller Eames lounge chair is that you have a brand or company that you know that can provide warranty for you. The Herman Miller Eames lounge chair has the best warranty with a 5-year policy on the chair, and when I dug in deeper, the MCL leather should have a 12-year warranty. The Sohnne Classic lounge chair has a 1-year manufacturer warranty, but you can purchase additional warranty up to 30 days even after your purchase, and you can get it covered for 5 years. The Amazon chair the chair from Amazon, the pleather version, I don't know the warranty policy, and I highly don't recommend you bank on it for its warranty because those sellers are shifting all the time. Now, I believe for all 3 of these chairs, you have a 30-day return window. However, with the Herman Miller Eames lounge chair, it is not a free return. You will not get paid back shipping, and I believe it does not qualify as under its performance seating, so you will take, I believe, a 10% hit up to $500. So potentially you'll be out about $900 for wanting to try out this chair. Which again, if anybody wants to purchase the chair and you're in the Philly area, you want a good discount, let me know in the comments down below. I really can't afford this. Links to everything will be down in the description below. Let me know which one you decide to go with. My personal favorite is the Sohnne lounge chair. I love that it's leather, so it's gonna last me a long time, and I love the extra height. All right guys, until next time, stay safe, and as always, stay honest.